Well, I mean, even whenever you get on them, if they are a good one and you're gonna make something. I mean, I got on kind of late to Bitcoin, but I've made money. I made a few $1,000s if it stays where it's at. So
Yeah.
hang on, you're gonna hear us double back on ourselves in 1 sec.
Well, we're live
Or
on YouTube now, so we need to behave
almost
ourselves.
spinning. Behave. Yes. Okay.
Well, it says on my side, Phil, meeting is now live on YouTube.
Yeah. No, I got it. It's live. Shh. Shh. What? Why are you? Okay, I muted it. All right, it's live on YouTube. Well, I'm Phil.
And I'm Phil.
And welcome to another episode of the Phil and Phil Show.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in and watching. So we have no clue tonight what the show's about, which doesn't really make a change.
One day maybe we'll be organized and we'll have plans for our shows, but right now it's the seat of our pants show.
We're hanging out. That's the thing. Well, I mean, when we had Samado on last time, we were organized. We knew what we were talking about.
Well, I mean, really, we had just a theme. It was just like, let's talk about food, and we talked about food. I mean, you had a goal as like our favorite foods, but so
yeah, and we did that. So that's all cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think partly though, it's just about catching up, isn't it, with each other and what's going on, and sharing our sharing our highs and lows. Like I was just sharing with Phil just before we came online about some cryptocurrency. I just bought a little bit of cryptocurrency. I don't know when it was, a couple of months ago, called Dogecoin. My mate phoned me up and said, Phil, you got to get crypto. You got to buy this coin. It's heading towards £1. That doesn't sound much, but when it started at 0.03 pence, that's a long way. So I got in at 5 at 0.5 pence, I think, and then it was up and down and all over the place. So I set it to sell at 6.4 pence, which it did, and I wasn't paying attention, so I sold it at 6.4 pence, and now it's 35 pence. So I missed a big bubble, but hey ho, this is the at least I made $25 and I didn't lose hundreds. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's better than nothing. But yeah, so that was kind of what I was just sharing with Phil before the show. So do we just
all this stuff is a game. It's all made up, like all of it. Like I was listening to, there's a great podcast to listen to, and they did an episode called Scarcity. And how it's created. Scarcity is created, and it's really interesting. The word "scare city," it's like we're scaring the city. So, but pretty much everything is put into scarcity. Like even gold, which we think is a finite resource, like there's an abundance of gold. We know like there's an abundance of oil. The money is all just made up. It's just like it's created scarcity. And it's the same thing with this cryptocurrency. It's made up numbers on a screen. But it's the world that we're in right now. We know that we can have something so much better, but it's kind of the game we're playing in this construct that we're in. And like, so I don't think we want it to be bad or good. It's just the construct, but we know that there can be something so much better than this. Because we are living in this abundant reality, but we're put into like, it's a physical plane where it's been drilled into it's finite resources and all of this stuff. But sure, in the model of like scientism, where things are extracted and refined and processed, and like that's kind of all it's destructive, instead of like nature, which is just abundant and constantly growing and evolving and moving and creating, like that creative energy, as opposed to the science energy, which is break everything down into its isolated parts, and then it's just this mess. And it's like, but reality, nature is infinitely giving, and that as a human being, when we're in this giving and receiving, it's continual. It's giving, receiving. It's just nonstop, and there is no scarcity. There is a pure abundance.
Yeah, it's the same with gardening, isn't it? If you garden well and you tend the garden, I was going to say correctly, but I'm not. I'm going to say tend that particular garden in the way that particular garden needs tending. So you need to look at soil structure, soil type, where it is, the wind, the warmth. You've got pockets within that garden at different temperatures. And man, the gardens are abundant. You have to work at it, but gardens are abundant. And they nearly always give you more than you need or more than you ask for. It's actually the nature of nature, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is to give you more.
Right. I mean, we look at like a mountain spring and it's just like, where's all that water coming from? It's just like, it's giving and it like expands. Like it's just this little bubble comes out and then, 10 meters down, it's like, where's all this water coming from? It's just like abundance and it's growing and bubbling and alive, it's like, and it's just, it feels like, wow, this is just gushing out in pure abundance. But it's not this abundance that we're being taught of, like The Secret, like you're gonna manifest like these physical things. It's like, and these are physical, but they're etheric too. They're real. They're the real thing, as opposed to like the fake materialism kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing when you were talking that came to me, Phil, is about nurturing. We have to nurture this abundance, because if we abuse the abundance, then there's no abundance.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to nurture that abundance to create abundance, right? It kind of doesn't sound right, and it kind of sounds contradicting, but it isn't. There's, like we got an abundance of oceans, we got an abundance of everything until it's not nurtured.
Right.
When it's abused,
Mm-hmm. Well, we see the reality of that. We've created an abundance of masks and trash and all of this stuff, and they're like, look what's happening. It's like it's a destructive energy. Whereas if we create an abundance of trees and gardens and like the abundance we would create of like everybody could be fed, and we would create wildlife. And when you bring trees back to the land becomes more abundant. The Man Who Planted Trees story is a classic for that, and that's been recreated all over the world, where people go into these barren lands and plant trees, and then the water comes back, the water table rises again because the land is not scared anymore, kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know if that's the right word, but the water table has gone down when the trees have been cut down. But you bring the trees back, the water table comes back up, the plants come back, the microorganisms come back, and then the animals come back, and it's just it becomes like, and that's just all it is putting trees in there, and then nature recreates it. And so, but the desert have been created in this materialistic kind of way of thinking, where it's the isolation and so.
Yeah, and I think, Phil, I was gonna, let's talk about Yellowstone National Park in a minute, but before we go to there, oh man, I've lost my thread. What were you on?
Just on the Man Who Planted Trees and the abundance that was created from that. So, I mean, just looking at my parents' garden. My mum's on the show. Tim's just joined the show, and they took a piece of property, and it was just a mess of rocks, and they've cultivated it to create this garden that's creating an abundance of berries. They have freezerfuls of berries, and like, sure that it's been a lot of work to create the ground, but now that they're producing, they just keep producing, and they've got, like what do they got there? They've got gooseberries and what's it, red currants and black currants, and they're just like so many. And there's like this small patch of land, and there's just pure abundance of these beautiful, vibrant berries and fruits. So
I think that kind of takes me back down to a conversation I was having this morning about being selfish, but ultimately being truly selfish, as in when we truly take care of ourselves, we take care of everything around us, right? Because when we truly take care of ourselves, we're putting the best food in possible.
Right.
Well, if you're putting the best food in possible, then you're growing the best food possible. You're buying the best food possible. Your demand has gone to the best food possible. So you've just stepped into this whole world of then you need the best water, then you need the best kind of, I'm not going to say the best clothing, because people are going to see that as being not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, when I say the best, I'm talking about organic cotton, hemp, bamboo, linen, the best, because what they do is they actually connect us to the universe. They allow the well, they there's not that they allow, they become universal antennas to
Right.
connect with the cosmos. So as we start to demand the best, I guess it's about, the selfishness is about becoming the best version of yourself consciously, not egoically, consciously. So therefore, as we cultivate and nurture our consciousness, therefore we cultivate and nurture consciousness.
Right.
And as we create a demand in ourselves for higher consciousness, we create a demand in the whole planet for higher consciousness. And as we start to love ourselves and take care of ourselves, therefore we're loving and taking care of everything else. Therefore, the animals are fine. The planet's fine. Everything's thriving once we truly take care of ourselves, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Then we don't have to fight for animals. We don't have to fight for the trees. We don't have to fight for anything. We just have to nurture our true self and our true essence. And as they say, everyone's a winner, baby.
Right. Well, it's the concept of receiving for self alone, receiving for selfish purposes, which is different than receiving in order to share. So receiving for self alone is like, I'm going to gather all of these material belongings. Whereas if it's like receiving the gifts of nature and the gifts of universe, you start to radiate at a higher level. So you radiate that out, and then you're inspiring other people to be the best that they can be. Whereas if you're there like hoarding, like I'm the best and I've got the best car and the best house and this is my stuff, like that's going to radiate that same kind of that. So there's different like selfish like energy between whereas you hold on to everything, and like in a different energy where it's like you're receiving these beautiful gifts of nature, and then you just start to radiate that love out. And you can't, but it's not even you're trying to go out and like help people. It's like as you become more in tune, you just instantly, it's just what you do. You hug people and you help them, and you're upset if somebody's having a hard time, and you got an abundance of berries and you want to just give them to people. It's not like, oh, well, I got this berries, I'm going to give them to these people. It's like you just start to do that naturally, because you're not like trying to gather as many gifts or as much money or anything like that.
And some people will, like I'm very generous with my time. So I might not be generous in other areas of my life, but I'm very generous with my time and taking care of people and, and looking after people. That's what I do abundantly. Yeah. So it's about, some people would call it being selfless, but actually selfless is another whole different thing. And this is about actually really focusing on what I'm talking about is really focusing on self to make self, maybe the best version of self isn't really a great phrase, but actually, what I'm talking about it's not egoically, it's not about having the best car, the biggest house, the fastest dog, whatever it is. It's about
fastest dog. I've got the fastest dog.
Well, okay. You know what? People down, that's what people talk about, whatever it is. I've got the fastest car.
Maybe that's the south, that's where you're at. Is it greyhounds or something? I don't know. So
lurchers, mate, are like around here. I've got lurchers.
Lurchers? Okay.
They're fast dogs, man.
Okay. Well, it's hard we talked about, I think after the show last week, that it's really hard to talk about these concepts. It's like how to put them into perspective and into words. Like because you kind of start to embody it more, and it really does start with that foundation of bringing in clean food and clean water, and then it shifts. So
Yeah. So also talk. Let's talk about a starting point. For me, it was food. My starting point to spirituality, waking up, evolution, whatever you want to call it, was food. Lots of people start with food. Some people just start with water. Some people start with yoga. Some people start with walking. Some people start with the clothes they wear. So
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what aspect you start on. It's just that we just start taking care of ourselves, and as we truly take care. Yeah, so I think instead of being the best version of yourself, it's about truly taking care of yourself on every level. And once we start to take care of ourselves, the byproduct is about taking care of self. I just got
I know. I'm sorry you get distracted when the chaps come in.
I
I
got
just try and
distracted
put them
again.
there. So, and my mum says she has the best cat, so she's in
Oh,
trouble.
the best cat. Um, so what have you just sent me?
Both of these are from Tim. Like Tim likes to
Oh yeah.
interact. So.
So Tim's written yeah, great. The only way to better your life is to better yourself. Physically and mental happiness and contentedness is a pure and whole and good selfish. If you are filled with good energy, you will pass it on. Exactly. You can never be the best version of self. You can just strive to improve, but be happy with who you are. Well, I'm gonna challenge that, Tim, because I'm definitely a better version of self than I was 25 years ago. So, yeah, we can, yeah, and yeah, there's always you can never be the best version of self. Yeah, I think we can always be the best version of self. There's a new day every day. There's a chance every morning to wake up to be better than you were the day before. Oh, Phil, we've got a guest just popped on the show.
Go let her in then.
So Jenna, that I was talking to last week and invited on, she couldn't because she had problems. Problems. That's the wrong word. Sorry, Jenna. She had something come up. And of course, I forgot to organise it. So lucky, Jenna has um, said yes that she's going to come on. So Jenna, I'm gonna let you in, and then I'm going to introduce you a little. So if I ask you to unmute, have I done that? If you unmute and put your video on, Jenna. Okay,
There she
ask.
is.
I'm gonna ask to
You're
start.
still muted.
Hey,
You're still muted, Jenna. Can't hear you. You're still muted.
yeah, you've got your mute button on still, Jenna.
Bottom left corner.
You're still muted. I'm going to ask you again.
It's the bottom left corner. You see the mute button there. Hang on. Okay, she says, "Hang on, it's not working." Oh, she's gone. She'll be back.
Cool.
Anyway, so I went to a raw food potluck last night. I go to a raw food potluck once a month, and last night I made raw chocolates. So everybody can have a little bite of raw chocolate. I'll blow it to you.
Oh, you torment.
And yeah, everybody. So what I always do when I make the chocolate, because it's a raw potluck, is I like to hand it to each person. So I'll take my little bowl of chocolates and I'll go around the table and I'll put it in people's hands, and they love that. So trying again.
Okay, let's try again.
Tim concedes. He's like, okay, yes, in the moment, you can be the best version of yourself. I will concede.
I love being challenged because it really makes me dig deep and, go in to feel what it is. Oh, it's funny. So Jenna's saying it's saying invalid. Well, she was on.
She's here.
There is an issue with my camera access.
Just give a chance to figure it out.
Microphone. I just send a little message and say, take your time.
Yeah, let's share some. I'm going to share some pictures here. Let's see. How do I? While we're doing this, Phil sent me some great pictures. So I'm going to embarrass him right now.
Oh,
is that going to be funky? Oh, we'll see.
Oh yeah. What's he going to do now? What's he going to talk about having a friend to put you right on the spot, right?
Yeah. Oh, what do you? Oh, it can't minimize. But how do I get? Having a hard time here. Hang on. Phil Grist.
So it's interesting how something just knocks us off of our little groove.
There we
You
go.
know, and that's the challenge, to step up. Again, you know, it's the
Here we
challenge
go.
to step up.
So what's this, Phil? Tell us.
Well, I went to visit a friend of mine, and we'd been saunaing and cold bathing and blah 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 blah, and we had our dinner. And I said, "Is there cake?" And he said, "There's chocolate cake." And I was like, I'm not having chocolate cake at this time of night. So we went in the kitchen. Oh no, that actually is. Yes, that is. That's a different night. That is samples of little different cakes that Pete made.
Oh.
Covered with cultured cashew cream.
Pretty decadent right there.
Very decadent. That is a little plate, by the way.
It does look very big, but
Yeah.
they're little pieces, I can tell.
It's a little, but that's a teaspoon. The spoon that's in there's a teaspoon.
Ah, okay. Well, that's perfect. That's all you really need of something that delicious. So then, oh, what's this? What's going on there?
Well, you can see what that is. That's me freaking out because it's really cold.
Look at that face.
That's pure concentration, Phil.
Oh, there you go.
Do you think that might be the last time I send you a photograph?
And then you got your friend got Pete in there, right? So
yeah, that's
well, you know, if you do your ice bath, like where's the moral? You get cake. So
yeah, absolutely. That was a few hours. The cake was a few hours later. So yeah, thanks, Phil. Yeah,
you're welcome.
So that was as you can see, that was a proper ice bath in a little old freezer that's in the garden.
That's so cool.
Hey,
so yes, well, yesterday I did cryotherapy. So I got a friend who does cryotherapy. So that is a different. It's a you know, it's air heat. So it's kind of not a dry heat. Well, it is a dry heat. They're using nitrogen. So
she's off. Jenna's taking us for a walk now.
I know. Well, I'm talking while she's figuring it out. So she'll get on eventually. We still can't hear you, Jenna. You're still muted. Well, just mime. We don't know sign. Oh, there she's gone. So yeah, I did cryotherapy yesterday, which is 3 minutes at like minus 278 degrees, 780 something. So.
Wow.
So it's a little bit different. It's similar, but the thing with cryotherapy is you're not like doing an ice bath for a long time. It's maximum 3 minutes. It's very different than water, so you can handle it better, but it puts the body into shock. The blood the blood withdraws to the inner core of the body. And then when you get out, it like rushes back. So it creates this pump in the system. And you know, kind of it's a stressor, so it gets you into a little bit of a stress, but it's kind of a reset. It's a reset to the body, and that's like kind of like an ice bath too. It's just a nice reset. You're not doing it for hours. You're jumping in, ducking under, getting out. You know, it's like it just resets the body. So
well, I managed to do 10 seconds yesterday, which doesn't sound very long, but I can tell you now it's a long time.
It is.
The longest Pete's done is 14 minutes.
Oh my goodness. I think I got up to like 5 or 10, but like too long, and like I was shivering too long, and I was like, this has got to be unhealthy when you're shivering that long. So
the thing is though, next to that ice bath is a red hot sauna that we got ready.
Well, that's good because you're getting the balance there.
So
Tim says he texted you. He said check your phone, Phil.
Really? Did he? He hasn't texted me.
No, I don't know. He can't be texting my phone. He doesn't know
Yeah,
my
but he
number.
might have signaled me.
Ah,
I turned my data on. I don't have Wi-Fi, Tim, so I've just got to turn my. Oh,
distracting us, Tim.
no, that was another one.
So you go back and forward between the sauna and the ice bath, right?
Well, sauna, cold shower, ice bath,
Mm-hmm.
and then sauna, cold shower, ice bath.
I mean, this is classic hydrotherapy, which is like it's been done for so long, and it's like such an underused therapy in the mainstream. But there's so many different versions of ice therapy. I mean, like in Sweden, they've always got their hot saunas, and then they jump in the snow and roll in the snow afterwards. But that creates like this purge in the system, like the hot, the cold, the hot like gets you sweating, it gets all the stuff out. The cold brings the energy back in, and you're just getting this purging in the system, cleaning out the lymphatic system, and really energizing and empowering the body. So cold therapy is pretty incredible stuff. Hot cold therapy.
So he
Some
sent me
people,
a video, which I'm not going to watch now.
okay. Some people, some people do it with ice water, cryotherapy. You got infrared saunas. So infrared is really powerful. That's kind of like recreating, what we would have if we spent more time in the sun. So, but infrared is really potent stuff. There's some great information about infrared. So just good stuff.
So Jenna's just said, you might be able to help here, Phil. Jenna's just said, I can't work it out. I've been in settings, but no microphone option. And she's got an iPhone.
Mm-hmm. So when she's on the app, she should be able to go to test speaker and microphone.
So Charles is saying, you may need to quit Zoom altogether before you can get the sound. Maybe better if you can get on a computer rather than the phone. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is flying by the seat of your pants. This is what happens. She's going to run to the laptop. Cool. Take your time, Jenna. We're just going to chat amongst ourselves like we do. This is just the challenge. The challenge of having a shoestring show.
Well, it's real. This has always been our show. It's like, well, what would be? It's like we're just hanging out around the fire together, and that's what we're doing. And it's not this perfect stream or this. And that's the other thing. I think we like it. Yes, it's not this like, oh, well, we're doing this, and then we're going to do this, and the structure's nice sometimes, but we want it to be kind of a free flow. So I think that's
yeah.
Well,
one of the things that about streaming is there's a few guys that I watch, and one of them he's a raw food health proponent called Dan McDonald, and man, I loved what he did. He really inspired me because he just sat in front of the computer and talked. It turns out that sometimes he used to take 3 or 4 or 5 shots at it because he'd lose his way or whatever would happen, but he never edited or cut. Bless him, he just did the whole thing again.
Wow.
And I mean, you can lose a lot of time, and actually, so partly what I really liked about Dan was he kept it real.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't cut and polished, and there was mistakes, there was things he probably shouldn't have said, blah blah, and this is what our society is missing right now, is raw and real, keeping it real, showing the mistakes, showing the Jenna can't get her phone to work. She's now going to find her laptop and sort that out. This is what happens.
Right. It's the natural learning experience. I mean, we jumped on this show having zero experience in running podcasts or anything. And it's like, a baby learning to walk. We forget that as adults. So baby learns to walk, they fall a lot. So we're trying to get our 10,000 hours in so we can put on, like, you know, but it's the evolution. We're not going, oh, those early shows were bad. It's like, no, that was just our evolution. So
Yeah,
we're
you know, and like,
evolving out loud. So
yeah, absolutely, Phil. And like, I got a microphone, you got a microphone, I got a bit of background. I got that lovely sign made in the background by a friend of mine that runs a company called Must See Signs in the UK. Bless him, he did that for us for nothing, Phil. So that was a little sponsor.
so nice. Yeah.
So, you know, and this is what we're doing. I got a microphone that stood on my desk. Then I got this little boom arm from eBay. At the beginning, I had no backdrop, and then now I've got a backdrop, and it's different to normal. It's okay. So yeah, it's just that thing, isn't it? And then I spoke to Jenna last week about jumping on if she could, and you know, and she couldn't. And tonight, bless her, she's trying to get on because I forgot to ask her in the week, and it wasn't until today, and I thought, oh, I haven't asked Jenna. You know, and like you said, Phil, just ask her, see if she's going to come on. So
Right.
fair play to her. She's had a go, you know, and unless you're geared up for doing Zooms and webinars and things like that, it actually isn't easy.
Right.
Because it isn't until you go on and you think, well, how do I do my microphone settings? How do, Phil, I stop my camera zooming in and out?
I don't know what's going on with my camera right now.
It's been like that all show. That's it. You just can't move. It can't cope. That's it. Stay like that. Rest the show. Sorted. Then the camera will be happy.
Okay.
So yeah, that's just the nature, you know. So I want to urge anyone that wants to start a podcast. Yeah, of course, if you start like Phil and I have done, you're not going to be rock stars overnight. You're not going to get 1,000 followers. You might not even get 3. Except what you do is you build content. So, you know, let's just say in another 3 years' time, we have a hit show. People are going to want to know where the hit shows come from. So therefore, they're going to go back and go, wow, look how they started. Well, if they can do it, I can do it. You know, let's really hope that our mishaps and, you know, and our toddler walking and our you know, falling back on our bums and all the rest of it, inspires someone, because actually this is kind of really what it takes, and most people now won't do it unless it's perfect. So we just went, oh, let's just chat.
Yep. And we had a couple of shows where I was like, I didn't want to get on the show. You didn't want to get on the show sometimes, and it was just like, I felt like crap, and it was like, I don't know what I'm going to say. And then I didn't, there was even times where I didn't know what to say. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say. And I just froze up completely. And it was like, well, that's kind of life, you know, we want it to be perfect, you know, and it's just like, there is no perfect, but it's all perfect, right?
Well, it's the thing, it's the fear of being criticized, isn't it? You know, and that's why so many people don't have a website, don't work for themselves, don't have a show, don't have a podcast, don't have a YouTube channel, don't have Instagram, don't have whatever, because that fear of failure and being criticized, well, not even failure, but the fear of being criticized is phenomenal.
Right, you can say, because we're trained to conform and fit into a mold, and that's even why, like, we're all, you know, many people are doing jobs that they don't like, and we're, because it's like, it's just easier to just go to that job, do that thing, do the same thing every day. Well, these are the patterns. This is my comfort zone. And you start to get out of that when the magic starts to happen, like you start to shift that energy.
And what that's brought up for me, Phil, is as well, lots of people, you know, and I know actually this includes me and you, is they're doing what they do until they really find out what they want to do, until they really find that thing that's it. This is what I'm doing. And that's what's missing from school, is being encouraged with what you actually want to do, with what that thing is that you're leading towards. Because, you know, look at me as a kid. If I was a kid now at school, they would be pushing me into conservationist, because I was so, me and my mate, we were crap at school. We were just absolutely up. This is another good.
Got it. I admitted it.
Got it.
Yeah.
you know, and now, if yeah, like I was saying, because me and my mate, we were useless at school. We were absolutely hopeless. So what we did, we just looked out the window, right? I was into birds, and he was into his main thing was kind of lizards and insects and snakes, and that was kind of his real thing. And mine was birds. And now you get pushed into that direction, don't you?
Oh my goodness, Jenna.
Jenna, I think you need to turn your iPhone off. Jenna, you still got your iPhone on. Oh.
I kicked you off on your iPhone, Jenna.
Oh, well done, Phil. The joys of doing an impromptu session. It's like musicians on the stage, isn't it?
What's going on over there, Jenna? I don't know if she can hear us.
I don't know. Can you even see me?
Yeah, we're just, your camera's frozen, but we can hear you now.
Can you see me? What's going on?
What's going on?
Okay. I don't hear anything now.
We're getting little bits, but your camera's frozen.
Phil, color therapy to release the blocks. Get some out.
Oh, this is.
Okay, I'll get, yep.
I'm wondering if the internet.
Oh, let's do, we'll do deep teal, Phil, and that should cut right through this. Like, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So this is deep teal, everybody. This should cut through the crap. Let's do that once more.
I need another dose.
Oh. Wow. We'll have a bit of air, see if we can clear the air with this one, Phil.
Okay.
Well, it's definitely cleared my air for me.
Can you see me or hear me or anything?
Right, we can hear you. Your camera's frozen.
Oh, is it? Oh, you
Yeah.
can actually hear me though.
Yes, yeah, we can now
I
hear
can
you
hear
loud.
you
Your
now.
sound is like rocking now.
Oh, is that coming from me?
No, that sound is Phil's tuning fork now. We've just been clearing the
Oh,
air.
okay.
We've just been using coloured mirrors
Okay,
and the tuning fork to clear the energy.
Okay.
This is 528 DNA repair.
I fire a bit of air dragging into that then, Phil. Keep tapping. I think if you could, Jenna, it might be worth stopping your camera and starting that again because your mic's okay. but your camera's frozen.
Yeah, okay. Let's have a look.
And if you can go into audio settings and you change it to suppress background noise on audio, if you can do that.
That's nice, Phil.
Oh, good. I don't think Jenna's mic's really working very well. I think we may need to. What do you want to? Do you want to keep trying? What do we want to do here? Oh, she's gone completely now. Oh,
It's like we've got
Charlie likes-
aliens on board.
Charlie likes the tuning fork, so we'll just keep doing that.
Okay, Jenna, we've now got a blank screen altogether. Phil, they're amazing.
So with tuning forks, you can clear out blockages in the energy field or like holes. You can kind of go over somebody's body, and you can actually start. I've felt it a few times now. Like as the more I do it, there's different. There's like a levels. Like I think we talked about this once a long time ago. But the further away you get from the body, it kind of goes historically, and you can kind of start to feel like where there's blockages, and it kind of, so normally it's like, oh yeah, you can feel that, but as you tune in, you can like feel, oh, it's a little bit sticky there. So you like focus on that area and just kind of, bring the sound in. Like my dog's now like, and then we're just having a show today.
Isn't she watching, Phil?
No, she's in the hallway. So you can start to rebalance that, and you just keep tuning into it, and eventually it'll just come back into balance, like my dogs. You better talk. Oh shoot, what happened there? I'm gonna mute. Talk for a minute.
Okay, so it's my turn.
While the dogs calm down.
Yeah, okay, so I was going to say a similar thing, Phil, to the drum. When I use a drum in healing, or when I was running the fire circles and we were doing sharing circles, when you use the drum on a person, you can go up their back or their front, and again you can feel, like you're saying, well, the drum, actually you can hear the drum. If someone's really sticky, the drum just goes flat. It's really interesting. So you'll kind of get this solid bump, 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 burr, bump, 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 burr. And so as you go through the energy field, and then what I found with the drum is if I work on that, that sticky spot with the drum for a while, it clears. And then we can go and if there's another spot, then we'll clear that spot. And so, yeah, great. But I didn't realize about the distance out from the body is historical. So
So
yeah,
yeah,
that's,
they can be old stuck traumas from like childhood, like it, and it's in the energetic field. I mean, we know that our memories and things are not stored in the head. They're stored in the energetic field, in the and so hi.
hey, maybe. Have we, Jenna? Have we not, Jenna?
Hello?
Oh
Hey!
my goodness.
Can you hear me? It's a bit
It's in it.
crackly.
It's it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My screen keeps freezing.
So if you go into audio settings, you can automatically
Oh.
adjust microphone and suppress background noise. Like that's one thing you could do.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
This is one thing we've learned from ourselves, Jenna, and having guests on. It's not as easy as we thought.
No, it's not, is it?
No.
And maybe if I'd had a bit of time to prepare, Phil.
No, you've done.
It was
I'll tell you
the-
what. Much respect for you because I said, "Do you want to jump on?" and you said yes. So that's amazing. So there's no criticism from our side of the fence. I tell you.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying. It's still a bit crackly, isn't it? Do you think that's my internet or
Yeah, that sounds good right now.
something?
Now that's whatever you've done. That's good. Oh.
I think I'm going to get you on my phone as well so that I can hear you.
Ah. Yeah, this is. I mean, it's to honor you, Jenna. It's really brave that you've jumped on because you haven't seen me for years, probably 6 years. You haven't never met Phil, and I don't know how many shows you do, but kudos for you for jumping on.
Oh, well, you know me, always up for anything.
Are you getting on with your phone? I'm just waiting to maybe mute that. So
Yeah. Okay.
And Jenna, if it doesn't work Fab tonight, don't worry about it. Just see if you can
I'll
get
come
it
on another day.
Yeah, you just come on another Sunday. It's fine. It's just.
we
Okay.
maybe need to do a test show with just us three and figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
we can have a little go now if we think we've got you.
I'm not the best with technology. I'm better with people.
Well, that's most. I think most of us are probably the same on this
So
show.
where are you, Jenna?
I'm in Salisbury.
Salisbury? Okay. Is that close to
Just
Phil?
outside.
In American terms,
I'm very close to Stonehenge.
Oh, lovely.
so in American terms, she's really close to me, but in English terms, she's a long way away.
Yeah.
She's about an hour. I think I worked it out the other day. About an hour and a half's drive.
That's close.
Yeah, about an hour.
Yeah.
Depends how good. It's about an hour in my driving.
Well, I think I'm a lot further on than Oxford, Jenna. That's the trouble.
Drive quicker.
Yeah, then you do what I do and start collecting points ready for your toaster. Well, we've lost your screen again, Jenna. We've lost your video.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Well, I think we need to try another time. I think we've given this. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I think what we'll have to do, Jenna, is we'll have to get you set up to get on a show. Yeah, let's organise you and pencil you in to come on a show so we can spend a quarter of an hour before and see.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even hear.
Yeah, let's.
I think we're gonna have to abandon it tonight.
I can't even hear you.
Yeah, that's a shame, Jenna, but that's okay. I really appreciate the fact that you've made an effort. Clearly, you've made lots of effort to jump on. So let's pencil it in our diaries. Let's chat over Instagram, and we'll sort it out so we can get you on and we can do a proper session.
Yep, I muted it out now, but that's what I'll try. That's the realness of this show. So
yeah, amazing. And the fact that Jenna there was really determined and went from her iPhone to a laptop to her iPhone, it's great. So we really appreciate that, Jenna. And yeah, I just really appreciate the courage that takes to jump on a show that bless her, she's never watched it, she's never seen us. She was just like, yay, oh come on. So yeah, much respect. I just found a sticker on my trousers, look, and this is what I think of that.
Great.
I was stuck on my trousers. So I'm going to stick that on the side of there to remind me that everything's great, even when it feels like it's not.
Even when it's a disaster.
Yeah, it's still great. So, guys, this is what we were talking about. This is the realness of what our aim. Our aim is to keep it real, not to have things that don't work, obviously, but to keep it real, be as real as we can. This is what we do. Jenna, bless her, jumped on for whatever reason it wasn't supposed to be. So we'll do our best, Phil, to pick it up from there and carry on or start again. Maybe we just have to start afresh because I have no idea what we were talking about before. No idea. Jenna's saying she can hear us now. She's put a smiley face with tears coming down the side of it.
Aww. We love you, Jenna.
So I don't need to type, Jenna, do I? Because you can hear me. So really appreciate you coming on. That's marvelous. Thank you very much. And we'll get it sorted out so we can actually create a show of you. Because, from my point of view, so I met Jenna, Phil, on a Pete that you saw in the icebox. Jenna invited Pete to a festival that she used to organise called Rest Fest, and I met Jenna on at that little festival that she used to run with her partner, and they kind of had a dance tent, a party dance tent, composting toilets, a healing field, and then Pete came with his cafe, his raw vegan cafe, and sauna and cold shower. So I helped Pete do that. So, in between me being busy doing that and Jenna running the show, we had chats and caught up, and we did that twice. And it was actually one of my favorite little events that could have grown into something really quite special. So I don't know where Jenna sits with that now.
So with Pete have like a little van or something? He ran his little cafe
He's
out
got
of?
a big van.
A big van.
And if I remember rightly then, Jenna put up a small marquee. So we had the cafe in a marquee.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pete has a portable wooden wood-fired sauna that we it's all in panels. We screw it all together and put it all up, and then we have pallets and.
So like it goes to like the dream I've had of like a UK roadshow, a raw food roadshow, where we drive around the country and we stop at places, we set up a live food kitchen, we show sprouting and whatever, and a sauna would be incredible. So we just do healing circles and drum circles, and then we move on to the next town and we just do like a raw food roadshow. That's a dream of mine for a long time now. We just spread the message.
I mean, if you remember, Phil, when I was in the States with you and I was training, my thing was to get a coach and be a raw food coach on a coach and travel around the countryside.
That would be fantastic.
That didn't happen. But let's do it. When you come over, let's buy a coach and let's do a raw food tour.
Yeah, we're gonna do this month. We're gonna do a raw food tour. I'm gonna be on the road. That would be fabulous. Yeah.
So Jenna's actually she's replied back to me now saying, I'm going to be creating more Magicka games soon. events. So she's going to start doing events soon. Well, Jenna, great. When you get that up and running, count me in. I'd love to support you. You know, I love what you did. It's had such a gentle vibe to it. And yeah, I'd love to support you in that. So that will be, yeah, great fun. Great fun.
Fantastic. So I hear things are opening up a little bit over there. Is there some change? Or, I mean, I know you don't really notice that much, but my mom was saying that the regular stores are opening back up again, or the shops and things like
Man,
that.
there's so much change now. It's hard to get a parking space in the car park. The roads are chock a block.
Oh wow, you were enjoying the lockdown. You're like, yeah, I get to drive my van and go to work and get some peace, and now you're like, ah.
I mean, I used to go shopping and I could park my big van in the car park easily. You know, now I have to go down the bottom of the car park where the tradies go. You know, but yeah. So for me, and I'm not a shopper, right? I don't go shopping. I go to supermarkets, buy my fresh raw ingredients. I go to the health food shop. Might go to the bank. I go to once every 2 months. I go to a shop and buy the Nexus magazine, which is an alternative news magazine. That's Nexus, by the way, guys. If you haven't ever heard of it, Nexus magazine. It's an Australian publication. It's great. Got lots of alternative views and ideas in there. So I go to a local big news agents and buy that once every 2 months. But yeah, I'm not a shopper. I might go and support the local market, have a stroll around, but there's nothing organic on there, so I don't buy anything. But I go and have a look. The farmers market, our local farmers market, is normally on when I am at work. However, the majority of that is kind of meat, potatoes, and wheat. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, closing the shops for me doesn't really make a lot of difference. I don't go to coffee shops. I don't go to the pub. I don't go to the cinema or restaurants. So, it doesn't affect me. So someone said to me, Phil, you can tell if you've got a dull life or not. And I said, why is that then? They said, because lockdown doesn't affect you.
I think it's the opposite. You have a vibrant life and you don't need the shops as a distraction. So you have a vibrant, alive life. Let's turn that around.
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
you get your joy from just being in your garden or being in nature and being with your friends. Like you don't need the shops or a movie theater or anything to distract you. And it's because people have dull lives and there's a mundane, like, okay, do these daily things, but it's like, oh, I got to get away. When's my next holiday? I got to get away from it all. It's like, well, what's that telling you? Well, you're getting away from it because maybe not happy. So,
and I've been really lucky as well, because the work that I do, I work quite a lot for friends. So, in my van, I can sleep in my van. So if I go somewhere, I become self-contained. So I can go and work in someone's garden or on someone's land. I don't need to work in their house. I can work on the outside of their house. So for me, actually, it's been great because I've had to kind of think out the box. I'm not a great fan of working in people's houses anyway, if I can help it, because of all the dust sheeting up and all the dust, and having to, especially in the wintertime, where you do a certain amount of work in the house and then a certain amount of work outside. And so I either get freezing hot outside or red hot inside, or I keep taking my blinking coat on and off all day. So, it's made me work outside more. I don't like wearing a mask, even when I'm at work doing nasty jobs. So I try not to do nasty jobs, right? Therefore, I don't have to wear a mask. Sometimes, if I have a job where I'm working with a bit of MDF, which is medium density fiberboard, which is really nasty, then obviously I wear a mask. But, I just did a job for a friend of mine building some bookcases and a wardrobe. And I'm like, should we have some nice timber shelves? And they're like, oh, Phil, that would be amazing. Yeah, let's do that. And then we use this really nice eco-friendly Osmo stain. And we used a floor wax on the shelves, so it's more hard wearing. which is, you know, it's all environmentally friendly stuff that we're using. So it's great. It's good for me, good for the environment. And so yeah, it's kind of, you know, and I've been doing fencing and outdoor stuff. So yeah, for me actually, if I've traveled anywhere, it's ultimately I've been working, which like I said, I'm really lucky. I've been working for people that I like and that are my friends. So, you know, that's a bonus, right? I get to work for people that I know and like, and I get to go places because I can, because that's my job. I'm working. So yeah, it's been really great for me. I really feel for people that have had a shit time through this experience. My heart really goes out to those people that aren't as fortunate, because I consider where I live and how I lived, I'm very, very fortunate on what I've been able to do and what I haven't been able to do, you know, because also the guy that fixes my van, he's a mechanic. He's also a mate of mine, and I help him fix my van. So, you know, I get social contact with people because I can drive over to his house. We fix my van. You know, again, that's all done outside. He hasn't got a workshop. We do it on his drive. So, you know, he hasn't been at work in the garage, so he's been at home, so I can drive to his house, jack my van up, fix the van, and go home again. So it's, you know, it's happy days for me.
Well, I like these things. There's more community things. But all my parents were really happy about is they get to go out charity shopping. Here's what I'm going to share what they just picked up the other day. So they picked up this shelf here, and it's in my dad's.
Unusual.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual. So it's going to be a bookcase. My dad's going to stain it, and that's going to go in our house in England. So.
Oh wow! I really like that, Phil. That's really unusual.
How much it was? £20.
Wow.
So that they find these bargains, and then the other thing my mum's excited about is she's getting a haircut next week. So she's
yeah, exactly.
So she's happy about that. Oops.
They asked me in. I can get it.
Who's that?
That was Jenna.
Oh.
So I've done it.
Jenna came to haunt us again.
I tell you what, she's keen to come on. She's
desperate. She's like, I'm getting on.
I'm getting on no matter what.
So a haircut, I gave up that. Like I gave that up at COVID time. It was like I haven't cut my hair once. So yeah.
Oh wow.
It was short at the beginning of 2020.
Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, you know, it's really affected some people, and it's the same old chestnut, isn't it? Some people have been really affected negatively, and some people have done really well. You know, that goes financially. Right. Some people have been hit really hard, and some people financially have done really well. It's just that same old chestnut.
Right.
And I think because of the lifestyle that I've created over the last 25 years, I've been really lucky.
Yep.
And it hasn't affected you that much, Phil, has it?
No, well, I mean, Arizona really, well, at least our business never shut down at all. So we just kept running. So because it's classed as an essential business, food manufacturing. So it never shut down.
Oh, that's amazing.
I didn't have to change anything in going to work or anything, you know, so. And Arizona's, apart from like they shut the bars and stuff, which I always thought was awesome. I wish they'd shut the junk food restaurants too, but shut the bars and the junk food restaurants. How about we shut those down like for a very long time? Like forever,
yeah, you know,
maybe.
That's truthful, isn't it? And the opposite flip of that is we need, you know, organic food stalls to pop up.
Well, I mean, going back to the old tavern was never like the bar, like these things were never about going there to go drinking. It was about a gathering place and a place to, you know, rest your head, to go sleep, place to get some healthy food, to get some food, Imagine if these were places to go get healthy food and elixirs and juices and all over. That would be, and you come out feeling amazing. Like we could have done that. Like let's do that. I vision that instead of a bar where everyone gets drunk and doesn't feel crap.
In Ireland.
Yeah. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think what would be a great flip in this country with the pub would be change it around, have a juice bar in one side and a raw food restaurant on the other side, or a vegan restaurant. You know what I mean? It's like it's what a great thing to do. Flip the pub around. So you've still got your community, you've still got a place to go. There's a place of like-minded people. You can get elixirs, you can get, herbal drinks, herbal teas,
play games,
educate
dance,
yourselves, watch
sing,
movies,
laugh,
watch documentaries, watch really healthful movies. Man, there's such, and I think now, because of lockdown, there's such a calling for that now. There's a real hunger. I've seen that hunger.
Yeah, exactly. And that you talked about that. It's like, why did you go down the pub? Because it was always like, oh, I'm going to go there and I'm going to connect with people. You never really had a strong connection, but you thought you were going to get that. Because once you're drunk, you don't really have connection with anything. It numbs it down. But if it was a connection, like so last night, I went to this raw food potluck. And then after the potluck, we went over to a close friend of mine who runs the potluck. We went to his house and we played a game until 10 p.m. We had like a little board game that we played together, and we had some kombucha, and it was just a really wonderful time. And we had some rich conversations, and that's just real. It's real, and we felt great afterwards. So
yeah, and that's it, Phil. And that that's the thing that I always missed. Oh, that's bad on my thingy, isn't it? I'll leave it off for the rest of the show.
You like,
and that's what I always missed as a youngster down the pub. I went not knowing what I was looking for, but I left every night. I left the pub very unfulfilled.
Right.
And I think,
the fact that we've been to gatherings and you came to Tree of Life, and we've been in spaces where people are gathering with, an intentional community, an intention to grow and evolve, and you've been to different workshops where that's the focus. You know what it feels like, and like, oh, that's what I was seeking all along. It's like this, intentional focused on consciousness shifting. So
yeah, absolutely. And I know occasionally when I went out, over the years, there was a couple of guys that I used to go out with, and I used to connect with them. And actually, it was like, that was the best night. I didn't need to get drunk. It was the best night ever. Mm-hmm. And it was just because I connected with them. And on the nights that I didn't connect, and I felt really isolated, and there's nothing worse actually than being in a group of people feeling isolated and alone. Mm-hmm. It's a horrible feeling. And and I yearned for this from a very young age. I yearned for community. I yearned for people to be around me that understood. Yeah, I had a great yearning for it. So the fact that we're now creating this tribe through our shows and things that we're doing, there's no surprise there really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we're gonna see a shift as things like start to shift into this new thing. People are gonna be like, oh, well, what do I really want? Like, and then they might get some things back and go, well, I don't really want this back, but I really like this thing. Like, I want more of that. Like, people have been stripped of what we started the show about. They're stripped of their normal material pleasures, and there's been a lot. People have been thinking about what do I really want from life? Who am I? What do I want? So, as things start to come back in, like, I'm hoping that a lot of people will come in with more consciousness from this experience of like, well, what do I really want to put into place? I don't, and that's what we were hoping Wendy would come on, because she's gone through that shift of like, I didn't like this lifestyle and I need something new. So,
well, the interesting thing with my sister is she thought she liked the lifestyle.
Yeah.
She thought she liked it. However, when she got given a new lifestyle, she was like, oh, actually, I didn't like that old lifestyle that I thought I liked. I actually don't like it, because this new lifestyle, which for my sister was working from home, meant instead of having to drive to work for 45 minutes, she could go for a walk in the water meadows for 45 minutes before work. Mm-hmm. She could then work. She could step out of her front door, the water meadow is literally 100 yards from her door.
Ah, beautiful.
So she found at lunchtime she could pop to the water meadow, she could pop to Blenheim Park, you know, and she couldn't get to work. So she's like, actually, this new lifestyle is amazing. I don't like going to an office. You know, she loved the people she worked with, but she realized that actually it wasn't fulfilling.
Right. Well, it's the same as the pub, right? It's like, oh, because you know, you go to work and it's like, oh, well, I get to see the same people every day. They become your tribe, but it's not a healthy tribe. It's like an illusory tribe. You work in, you know, most of these, you know, corporations, you're working for the, you know, the big brother kind of thing. And it's like, and it's taking all of your energy, your creative energy. And like, if we can kind of shift that back, like to like, what do we want to create and what do we want to be part of? Like we can create something more amazing, and this whole system will crash, which is kind of a good, you know, we don't want the new normal, but we want the system to crash that is soul destroying. And we want a system that is soul uplifting and soul nourishing.
Yeah.
And then we're going to realize there's a lot of things. Oh, we don't need those things. We don't actually even want those things that we were told from repeatedly. Oh, you need this. Oh, you need this new thing, this material thing. And it's like, oh, I don't need any of that. I just need to be sitting in nature and, you know, working the land and maybe chopping some wood and making a fire and, you know, giving a massage to my friend. And
yeah, absolutely. And the thing that I find, you know, it's the same for me, is when you're working hard, you're going shopping because you have to, you're in a job you don't like, then you have to be, then you need to be rewarded. So you spend your leisure time, free time, creative time, whatever you want to call it, doing things to compensate for doing what you didn't want to do. So a lot of the time you never end up doing what you really want to be doing because you're compensating. So you're going, oh, well, as I've done this all week, or as I've done this today, I want to go and do this.
Oh, is that I think that's Phil's yawn is usually when it's getting close to the end of the show. So.
Yeah, that's getting towards me needing to go to bed.
So I think this is a good show. We went through a little journey together.
Yeah, it's been fab again, Phil. And you know, hopefully we've given people a bit of inspiration, some ideas, some food for thought. So, you know, we'll round up with what we're always going to round up with, which is remember, eat some really good, fresh, organic food, drink some clean water, drink fruit and vegetable juices, eat some fruit, jump on a rebounder, jump on a trampoline, go for a walk in nature, take some deep breaths when you're out there, consciously breathe, and do something that you actually love, not just what's a reward.
Absolutely. So if you like our show and you want to keep following us, go to philandphil.com. I'm playing with the colors a little bit on the website to kind of lighten it up.
Oh, there's no picture on there now, Phil.
Oh, did I break the picture? Oh dear.
Picture's gone.
Oh bugger. Let me have a look. No, the picture's there. I see it.
Okay.
I just lightened up the background. I'm seeing the picture. And then I updated my resources section, which is a lot of like resources of kind of what's going on in the world today. Great places to get some information, alternative information on instead of the mainstream media. So I keep updating that page. Where I post most of our content is Telegram. I'm trying to almost not using even some of these other alternative social medias because I feel like kind of just another trap. Like let's go from one trap to another. So that's kind of why I like Telegram because it's a little bit more controlled. It's like it's not, you don't get sucked into scrolling and all that stuff. So I just share some stuff on there, and then I'm putting out some newsletters. So if you go to our website, you can sign up on any page to our newsletter. I'll just send random newsletters every so often about what I've been learning or reading about. So if you want to donate to Phil and Phil so we can pay for our website and support us in continuing to do this, and buying a coach so we can drive around and do the Phil and Phil show live on the road. please donate in our donate button to, you'll see it on our website, donate with PayPal, donate to our show. We'll put that energy to good use.
Absolutely, you know, and then we can get, like Phil said, we can get the website also smartened up and sharpened up, and yeah, we can just evolve, keep evolving on that front of it, on the technical front.
Yep. Yeah, the website I just threw together based on life experiences, but I don't really have that designer level skill, so it kind of needs a little bit more love. So if anybody's out there wants to help, you know, spruce up our website and make it look a little more slick, then let us know.
Yeah. That would be another, you know, that would be a great way of supporting us, actually. Some time.
Yep.
So, guys, thank you very much. This has been another fabulous Phil and Phil show. We really appreciate you all for watching, whether you're watching live right now or right now in the future.
We love you. Thank